Welcome back for more Week 3 XLB action as the Las Vegas Horsemen are traveling to Danville to take on the Danville Dairy Daddies. Las Vegas comes into this week 2-0 in the West, while Danville sits at 1-1 in the East. The legends for the Horsemen include Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds. The legends for the Danville Dairy Daddies include Larry Walker, and why can't I think of the other one? Pedro Martinez. So not Jose Altuve. But Trey Turner set to lead off this one. Ryne Nelson going to be on the bump for the home team, Dairy Daddies. And Gavin Williams from the Cleveland Guardians going to take the mound for the visiting team. Ryne Nelson from the Diamondbacks. I'll be controlling both teams here, although Danville is a team put together by our friend Jazz. So let's get this one started. Trey Turner against Ryne Nelson to get this one underway. Both pitchers 2-8. And Nelson is going to walk Trey Turner to start this one out. So no, not an out, but instead Turner will get on first there with the walk. Nelson, not a lot of strikeouts, so 42 being a walk is not a good start for Nelson, and Turner will take off for second. 23 will get him there. So a stolen base right off the bat puts a man on second for Brandon Lowe. Is it Lau? I think Lau. I think I saw Lau. Brandon Lau on opening day. So first base open for Lau as Nelson goes to work after the walk and stolen base by Turner. And Lau is out of there. And that will advance the runner, and it's first baseman to the pitcher, is what that one says. You don't see that one too often. Oh, wait, chance for error. 2-10, so I apologize. That's going to be an error, 2-10, but who would that error be on? I'm going to say first base, if anybody, but no error. Error 1 for Bryce Harper, and error 0 on Nelson, so really nobody, but the runner will advance to third for Barry Bonds, and Barry Bonds is going to be walked intentionally. Just no reason to try and even pitch to him. He has been a monster here to start this season, and that will make it first and third now here in the first inning. 2 walks from Ryne Nelson, but that one intentional. That'll bring up Michael Busch as the Dairy Daddies are at double play length. And Nelson will get Busch to ground out to second, no error, and that's going to be a double play. Yeah, infield back, double play. The runner on third would have scored, but instead that double play will get the Dairy Daddies out of the inning. So they walk Barry Bonds and put him on, but immediately get out of the jam. Nice job there by Nelson to fight his way out of it. Gavin Williams on the mound. He'll take on the leadoff hitter, Julio Rodriguez. And Gavin will strike out Rodriguez to get this one started. That'll bring up Jose Altuve in the 2-hole. And Williams will get Altuve to ground out to first. No error on that play. Really trying to get myself in a better spot of not saying no error on that play and just kind of only calling it out if it is an error. Larry Walker is going to smack a single into right. So Walker gets technically the first hit of the day here. Walker came into today batting .500, and he's going to go for second. 35, I believe that gets him there. We'll take a look. Yeah, 35 will steal that base. So Larry Walker in the scoring position with 2 down here against Bryce Harper. And Harper. Williams will get Harper. Ground out to second. And that'll do it for the bottom half of the inning. So tied up at 0 after 1. We'll go to the top of 2. Where Nelson will go back to work against William Contreras. And Contreras, he's out of there. That's fly out to deep left, but brought in for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Jarren Duran, the speedster out of Boston. And Duran, he's out of there, and he'll pop up to the catcher. So 2 quick outs from Nelson here as the Horsemen, who have been an offensive juggernaut to start this season, struggle to get something going here. Nelson will get Polanco grounding out to the shortstop. And the top half of 2, no runs scored. We'll go to the bottom of 2. Where the Dairy Daddies will look to get out in front here against Gavin Williams. It'll be Marcus Semien leading off. And Semien is out of there. And he'll ground out to the second baseman himself. So we're seeing the second baseman get some work on both teams. That'll bring out Manny Machado. And Manny, he's out of there. And he'll ground out back to the pitcher. So a couple ground ball outs here from Gavin Williams. In the bottom of the second, we'll bring up Elliot Ramos. And Ramos was a big hero earlier this season. This time he'll take a walk, though, as Williams will put him on. So 1 on, 2 down now as Ramos takes the walk. That'll bring up Mookie Betts. And Betts has been looking for a way to get going here, and he does smack a single right into left. So that'll put 2 runners on now after that hit from Betts. First and second with 2 down, the 9-hole hitter Alejandro Kirk at the plate. Williams will get Kirk to ground out to the shortstop, and that will put an end to any threat that the Dairy Daddies had in that half inning. We got zeros on the board through 2. We'll head to the top of 3, where Jose Ramirez will lead off against Ryan Nelson. And Nelson will get Ramirez to fly out to left. Can of corn out there in the top of 3rd. 1 down for Joe Adell. And Nelson will get Adell to ground out to 3rd. And we'll go back to the top of the lineup. Nope, fly out to left. Ground out to 3rd, and that'll bring up Trey Turner, who walked in his first plate appearance in the first inning. And Nelson will get Turner this time to ground out to 3rd. And so 3 up, 3 down for Ryan Nelson in the top half of 3. And we'll head to the bottom of 3. As it'll be the top of the lineup, Julio Rodriguez leading off against Gavin Williams. And Williams goes right to work. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. And Williams is not going to make an error there. Apparently both these pitchers very solid in the field. Jose Altuve. And Altuve, PBBD, he will strike out. So an opportunity there. And instead it's 2 down. That'll bring up Larry Walker, who got a hit in his first at bat. And Williams will get Walker this time, lining out to the first baseman. So 3 up, 3 down for Gavin Williams as well, as both these pitchers are in control through 3. Top of 4 we go. And it'll be Brandon Lau leading off against Ryan Nelson. And Lau will strike out on the PBBD card. As we said, Nelson doesn't get many strikeouts, just his first of the day here in the top of the 4th. That'll bring up Barry Bonds. So Bonds at the plate against Nelson. The Horsemen have yet to get a hit, and Nelson's going to walk Bonds. Just really can't take the risk of getting it on Barry's card and having him cause any damage with it. So 2 walks for Bonds. We'll bring up Michael Bush now. And it would have been on Nelson's card regardless. As a 43 is a pass ball, and that'll send Barry Bonds to second. So now that intentional walk looking not good there. Pass ball, I'm not sure what that goes on. We won't attune it to anyone. So Nelson now with Bonds on second. Deals again, and he catches the strikeout. Gets Bush looking for his second strikeout of the day. That'll bring up William Contreras now. 1 on, 2 down for the Horsemen here in the top of the 4th. And Nelson will get Contreras flying out to deep left. That's how the top half of 4 comes to a close. We head to the bottom of the 4th now, where Bryce Harper will lead off for the Dairy Daddies against Gavin Williams. Tied up at 0 here. And Williams will get Harper grounding out to the shortstop. 1 down for Marcus Semien now. And Semien will get it on his card. And he will be out of there, though, as he will fly out the left. So now 2 down for Gavin Williams here in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Manny Machado. And Machado will take a walk. So another hitter put on. Here with 2 down now. In the bottom of 4, that'll bring up Elliot Ramos. And Ramos will get struck out by Gavin Williams here to end the 4th. Just the 3rd strikeout for Gavin Williams. The Dairy Daddies actually came into this week with the most strikeouts in the league for a team. And they were pretty far out in front, too. Jarren Duran will lead off for the Horsemen here in the top of the 5th against Nelson. And Duran will strike out. So that'll be the 3rd strikeout for Ryan Nelson, as he looks to keep his momentum going here in the 5th. That'll bring up Jorge Polanco. And Nelson will strike out Polanco. So I said early on, Nelson doesn't get many strikeouts. He's got 2 here in this inning now, as he builds some momentum. Jose Ramirez, the speedster. It'll be on Ramirez's card, but he'll be out of there, grounding out to the 3rd baseman. And that'll do it for the top of 5. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th now, where the Dairy Daddies will look to get their pitcher Nelson some help. Mookie Betts set to lead off. And Williams will strike out Mookie Betts. So now the strikeouts starting to come in spades for both teams here, as Gavin Williams gets 1 there and Alejandro Kirk's at the plate. Williams will get Kirk to pop up to the shortstop. That'll make it 2 down for Julio Rodriguez. And Gavin Williams will strike out Rodriguez to end the 5th inning. And this pitcher's duel heads to the top of 6 now. One team gonna have to find a way to manufacture a run. Ryan Nelson back on the bump. Joe Adell, PBBD, but he strikes out. So a good opportunity there. Adell's card pretty solid, but instead it's going to be a strikeout for out number 1, Trey Turner, top of the lineup. And Turner will also strike out. So now Ryan Nelson is dealing here in the last few innings a couple strikeouts. That'll bring up Brandon Lau with 2 down. And Lau will be out of there, and he will ground out to the 2nd baseman. And that'll do it for the top of 6 now, as Nelson has looked good through 6. Bottom of 6 we go. We'll see if the Dairy Daddies can get to Gavin Williams. Altuve will smack a home run. First pitch right out the gate. And Gavin Williams gives up the home run here on the first hitter in the bottom of the 6th. And Altuve will drive himself in to put the Dairy Daddies out in front 1-0. Jose Altuve's first home run of the year. That'll bring up Larry Walker. And Walker, he will go yard. Back-to-back jack job for Larry Walker and Jose Altuve. And now Gavin Williams has given up 2 runs here on back-to-back jobs. And that'll bring up Bryce Harper. And Williams will try and calm it down a bit. Ground out to the catcher. No error on that play. Why would there be? So now 1 down here with the score 2-0. Marcus Semien at the plate. And Williams will strike out Semien. 6th strikeout of the day for Gavin Williams. 2 down here in the bottom of 6. Bring up Manny Machado. Williams will get Machado to ground out to the shortstop, and that'll do it for the bottom of 6. But the damage is done. 2 runs on the board for the Dairy Daddies, as Gavin Williams gives up back-to-back home runs to Jose Altuve and Larry Walker. Barry Bonds set to lead off the top of 7, and Nelson gonna give him the base. Barry Bonds will take a walk right to first base. No sense in forcing it here. 4th walk of the day for Nelson. He'll stay out there, though. Michael Busch now at the plate. Grounded into a double play in that first inning after a walk to Bonds. We'll see what they do here. Nelson. And that'll be the first hit of the day, as Busch will smack a single right up the middle. So now runners on first and second for the Horsemen. Nobody down, as William Contreras at the plate. See what Nelson wants to do here. He'll deal. He'll get him. G6. No error. First and second. G6. Double play. Batter and runner out. Runner on second goes to third. So Bonds moves over. But another double play after walking Barry Bonds will help Nelson out here. Good job by him. So that leaves it down to Jarren Duran now with a runner on third. And Duran will strike out to end the top of 7. 7th strikeout for Nelson. And he gets out of a big-time jam there as he walks Bonds for the 3rd time today intentionally. And the bottom of 7 we go. Elliot Ramos set to lead off against Gavin Williams. And Williams will strike out Ramos. 7th strikeout of the day for Gavin Williams as well. 1 down now here in the bottom of 7. I'll bring up Mookie Betts. He has a hit earlier today. And Mookie will smack that one into right for a single. So Betts getting his bat going here today. And we got some warming up in the bullpen now for the Horsemen, as Alejandro Kirk's at the plate. And Williams will get Kirk to pop up to first base. So 2 down now with a runner on first. That'll bring up Julio Rodriguez. And Gavin Williams will strike out Rodriguez to end the 7th inning. Top of the 8th will go. Ryan Nelson coming back out to deal with the bottom of the lineup for the Horsemen. And Polanco will fly out to deep center. 1 down for the Horsemen. Credit where it's due. Nelson has shut down this offense that has been good so far this season. And he will walk Jose Ramirez there. So now we're seeing just a smidge of activity over there in the Dairy Daddy bullpen. Ramirez will take off for second, and he will get there. Another stolen base for the Horsemen today. That gives them 2. Now a runner on second in this situation for Joe Adele at the plate. And Nelson will give up the infield single. So the runner advances just off the nub of the bat. Adele puts it into play. Manager going to come out and have a little talk with Nelson, see what he wants to do. He has been good here today. Only given up 2 hits, including that infield single. But now he finds himself in a jam as he's got Turner and Lau coming up. He's got a couple double plays today that have got him out of some jams. Infield in here for Nelson as Turner flies out to right. We'll see what the chart says. F9, OBR A, B, or C on third scores. That is Jose Ramirez. He will be driven in. So a sacrifice fly from Trey Turner brings in Ramirez. And now we've got 2 down for Lau with a runner on first, as Nelson tries to get out of this one. Lau at the plate. And Lau is out of there, and he will fly out to right to end this half inning. But the Horsemen do get a run on the board. Makes it 2-1. And we will head to the bottom of the 8th now, where Gavin Williams is on an extremely short leash against some guys who hit him up last time. And Gavin Williams, wild pitch, comes back to Williams, and he will strike out Altuve looking. 8th strikeout of the day for Gavin Williams, and he's got Larry Walker at the plate now. And Walker will slap a ground rule double over the wall. And Walker continues his tremendous season at the plate here early on. So a runner on second, 2 pitchers warming up in the bullpen, as Bryce Harper says not quick enough, and he'll slap a double that will drive in Larry Walker. And that's going to do it for the day for Gavin Williams, as another run driven in there. Harper with the PBBD double, and Williams is going to have to be done for the day. We'll bring in Abner Uribe from the Brewers coming in now, as he tries to staunch the bleeding here. A run added in. Marcus Semien at the plate now for Uribe. And Uribe will strike out Semien. 2 down, runner on second for Manny Machado. And Uribe will give up a single into right to Machado off of his card. Into right, that's Jorge Polanco. Polanco does not have that, so we'll say it was Joe Adell. Adell is T2. And Harper is OBRB. T2 OBRB. Whoops. T2 OBRB 11-76, and it feels like you would send it there. But no, thrown out by Joe Adell at home. Only 12 numbers that would have sufficed there, but Uribe is saved at the dish there and gets out of the inning. Sorry about that one, Machado. You had your single, and then Harper thrown out at the plate. We'll see if that looms large, as the Dairy Daddies will bring in their closer. Nobody has a save on this squad yet. I'd say it was probably Felix Bautista. So Felix Bautista will come in, and he will take on Barry Bonds to lead off. This is a tough situation here. What would you do? If you were up by 1, I'd say you probably walk them, but up by 2, they'll go ahead and pitch to Bonds. First time today. Bautista will get it, and he will give up. No, he will strike him out. Okay. I thought that was for sure going to be a hit off the pitcher's card, but instead, Bautista strikes out Bonds for the first out here in the top of the 9th. So Bonds down, that'll bring up Michael Busch. And Bautista. This time it will be a single into center for Busch. 1 on, 1 down for William Contreras here in the top of the 9th. And Contreras, he's out of there. A ground out to the shortstop. Air 4-10. No air. That is a double play to end this game, as Contreras does not have the wheels to get there. And the Danville Dairy Daddies get a really good win here over a good Las Vegas Horsemen team. Ryan Nelson with the win. Felix Bautista with the save. Gavin Williams, a great outing, but he's going to be hung with the loss here in this one. MVP probably needs to go to Ryan Nelson, but I think we're going to go ahead and give it to Larry Walker. 3 for 4 today with a home run, 2 runs scored, a stolen base, and an RBI. That'll do it for this game. Tune in for more XLB action as the week rolls along. Thanks for watching.